Hello, good evening, welcome to Rangers Radio. Join myself, Fox, here on the show tonight as the one and only Bridge in the lovely Linda. How we doing, boys and girls?
Evening, Oxshare. Evening, Bridge, man. Evening, everyone. I hope you're all keeping well.
Well, can I say a huge good evening to yourself, Linda, and yourself, Oxshare? And can I just say to all the Rangers fans all over the world listening in, good evening. Welcome to Rangers Radio.
How are you, Linda?
Yeah, I'm very well, Ox. Looking forward to the show. I'm sure there's a few disappointed people after last night, but it was just a wee draw and we move on.
Disappointing performance, but nobody died. Listen, I've seen you come on in the studio. I'm going to give you a wee bit of advice. Take that stone out your shoe.
I've got an injury.
Oh, don't we know it, Bridge? What's she like? She's not going to stop talking about it. Jeez, oh, Bridge, man.
I reckon she stood in the tee and fell over the wooden tee when it was in the ground. She went to put the ball onto the tee and fell. That's what I reckon.
It's probably true, Bridge.
Oh, gee whiz, I'm telling you. But no, it's nice to be here. Thank you very much. I'm very happy. Other than last night's score, I'm very happy.
Aye, well, it was a strange game. It wasn't the greatest performance. A lot of controversy once the dust had settled and you look back at some of the decisions. Bizarre. But I'll tell you what we'll do, Linda. We'll get the view for the Bridge and then we'll get your thoughts, yeah?
Yeah, sounds like a plan.
Yes, okay. You sit with your feet up, all right?
Okay, thank you all.
No problem. Let's hear a view from the Bridge.
Well, good evening, everybody, and welcome to A View from the Bridge. The Aberdeen versus Rangers game at Pittodrie, Tuesday the 18th of January 2021, SPFL Premier League game. The game. Rangers lined up with new signing Sands in the midfield role. Welcome to Rangers, Mr. Sands. This was as poorly as Rangers have played under Giovanni Van Bronckhorst. We appeared to allow Aberdeen to keep possession until they were threatening our area, where we managed to steal the ball and ball back and mount a counter-attack. In fact, we allowed Mr. Brown to get in 4 shots and 1 header in our area. Then we stood back and allowed him to get under their skins, ending with him easily conning the ref quite a few times and getting his pal, the ref, to administer the yellow cards and the red card. Where he gets up, does the unprofessional thing again and laughs at the player being sent off for nothing. Where it should have been a yellow card for Brown, for being unprofessional and feigning injury. I can't understand where some of the fouls against Rangers came from, other than it was Clancy doing what Clancy does best. I really do hope that we appeal the second yellow card and red card against Mr. Kent and get Brown reported for his sending off antics. On 19 minutes in the game, a really long punt up the park from Aberdeen leaves our defence struggling for pace, and Hedges is charging towards our area. When I get McGregor slightly late, but gets out there to try and challenge or put the man off for the ball. Hedges gets a foot on the ball and Hedges goes down. I don't think it was McGregor that caught him. The ref said no contact, play on. And in 20 minutes, Rangers break come up the park, getting some good interchange of passing play, led to a fine pass out to the left, Mr. Kent. He passes a great cross into the near post, but Hadji puts it into the net. 1-0 for the famous. And I thought, this is it. We're going to trounce this, people. Rangers had a few further chances, but on the whole, we defended the lead, giving Aberdeen the space and possession up until half-time. Half-time, 1-1 for Rangers. Rangers just continued defending the lead, still giving Aberdeen the space and possession to build any attacks that they wanted. And in 71 minutes, an Aberdeen corner from the right is missed by all of our defence. Ferguson gets in a header and the ball catches Morelos on the arm. By the way, 100% penalty. Yellow card for Alfie, unfortunately. Coolly dispatched by Ferguson. 1-1. Hard lines Alfie and Rangers. On 80 minutes, Rangers lose Kent to a second yellow/red card for a non-foul on Brown. A shocking decision, Mr. Clancy, who was showing his true colours quite openly. But Rangers defended manfully right up until the end. Full time, 1 each. Players' ratings. For Rangers, I don't need to read out their names. I'm going to tell you, every one of them, I gave them a 6. And that's poor for me, a 6. So we were really bad. The man of the match for me last night, for Rangers, was Mr. Bassey. I thought he did not too bad. Other than that, the rest of them were just mediocre. Stats. Possession, Aberdeen 58, Rangers 42. Total shots, 15 for Aberdeen, 7 for Rangers. Shots on target, 3 for Aberdeen, 4 for Rangers. Corners, 6 for Aberdeen and 4 for Rangers. Fouls, 7 for Aberdeen, 21 for Rangers. Shocking. That's the end of A View from a Bridge.
Hello, Bridgeman. Thanks for that. I said last night in the aftermatch show, I think it's the second worst performance I've seen by that referee. But Linda, it doesn't take away that we didn't play well, yeah?
No, we didn't play well. Yes, and I would agree it was an absolute shocking performance from the referee. There were some bizarre decisions that he gave for the opposition as well. I just thought he spoiled the game and he let himself be influenced by a particular individual, as Bridge alluded to. No, I didn't think we played well, Ox. I didn't think we started well. I thought they were more on the front foot and they had a couple of opportunities, didn't they? And they hit the post.
Yeah.
And then you've obviously got the incident with McGregor. Whether it was a penalty, I'm not sure, but it's quite astonishing actually that Clancy didn't give it, considering the way he went on to referee the rest
Was
of the
that
game.
the biggest surprise of the night, Linda?
I would agree with that. Absolutely agree with it. Astonishing that he didn't give it, but we did say that he's going to make up for that at some point, albeit it was a penalty later on. But I didn't think we were playing particularly well. We got the goal, as Brad said, a great move, and then I thought we had our best spell in the match after that, up to half-time. We looked a bit more dangerous. But
kept the ball for about 20 minutes, decent, Linda, after the goal, yeah?
Yeah, absolutely. I would agree. But, we passed the ball about. There were a couple of wee opportunities that we maybe could have done better. To have that kind of half shot come cross, I think that Joe Lewis saved and it kind of came off the post. And I thought we were looking a bit better. But we were talking about it at half-time, and my brother and my cousin, we were saying we probably do need to get a second goal here because you knew something was going to happen in the match. But we came out in the second half, Ox, and I thought we were quite passive. We didn't really get on the front foot at all. And then obviously anything can happen just now with this handball rule. And unfortunately we conceded the penalty. And when we went down to 10 men, I just thought that he was happy, Gio, just to take the point and get back down the road. But as Brid said, it was and you said as well, it was a disappointing game, and we just didn't seem to get going at all.
Yeah, I don't disagree with 99.9% of that. I think the second half we were trying to keep the zero.
Yeah.
To coin a phrase, we were playing tight. I'll be honest with you, Linda, I thought they'd run out of steam, Aberdeen, when they got the penalty with the corner. Yeah. They had a lot of possession, but it was a crossing back to the goalie. And their fans were getting frustrated because McGregor had nothing to do, you know. But we didn't keep the zero. Listen, I think it was a penalty kick, if I'm being honest. We'd have been looking for it in the other box. I think Alfie was just unlucky, Linda.
Yeah, the header was going towards goal, and you could see he tried to pull his hand out the way. But with this new rule, Ox, you didn't even need VAR to be able to give that. You could see it. It was a penalty, and he's looking right at it. And I think he was unlucky. You could see the disappointment in his face, but there wasn't really much he could do. But I would agree with you that we allowed them to have the ball, and they didn't create a lot of clear-cut chances. But I just felt that we needed to get a second goal, just to make sure that if something happened in the game, either a sending off or a penalty or a daft decision by the referee, then we would have had that 2-goal cushion. And it was just a shame the way that it panned out. But did we do enough to win the game? I'm not so sure about that.
No. Every one of the things you mentioned there happened. They gave a penalty, sending off, and daft decisions by the referee.
On the Ryan Kent incident, I don't know how you've seen it. I thought, I think Hayes was getting booked, but I don't know. But this was my summing up. And Ryan Kent pushed him, and he made it easy for him. He gave him the first yellow card. And then the second one, I don't even think it was a foul, if I'm being honest. I think the guy cheated, and it's not the first time he's done it, if I'm being really honest. Linda?
Yeah, absolutely. And I think it says all locks when Walker, who's the co-commentator on Sky, it said exactly that. Very, very harsh. The 2 bookings, but he did give him an easy option when he put his hands on him and he pushed him. Another bizarre decision was the fact that Hayes wasn't sent off for the challenge in Borna Barisic. That's astonishing. The linesman's looking straight at it, and the one that he bashed him in the nose. And then
I'll pass you to our nose breaking expert who knows that the first one's a feeler and the second one's a hit. Bridgeman.
Yeah. Absolutely. Let me tell you, that was a.
He never denied it, Linda, did he?
No, I did not.
Never.
That was an assault on Barisic, without a doubt. It wasn't a case of he made a wee mistake there. That was a full forearm in the mouth and the nose, and you saw him. And there's a ludicrous set. He sends Barisic off because of blood. Where did the blood come from? For God Almighty's sake, use your head, man. Sorry. And that's a shocker. And he sends him off and then doesn't let him back on again for a minute. Just terrible. What a shocking display by the referee. And I hope all of it is reported and highlighted, because that just can't go on. Just can't go on any longer. The nonsense with Scott Brown against, not just Rangers, by the way. He does it against a lot of teams, but particularly Rangers. And that manager, that referee fell for every single one of them. Every single one of them.
What was the linesman doing with that one, Linda? It was right in front of him.
Yeah, absolutely, Ox. It was right. I mean, his view wasn't obscured in any way, shape or form. He's looking right at it. I mean, it's doing its rounds all over social media. You've probably seen it yourselves. He's standing right in front of it. It's a really terrible decision. As a team of officials, it was probably one of the worst performances, that I've seen in a football match. The thing about Clancy is that I don't watch a lot of other Scottish games, but my understanding is that he is equally as bad, maybe not quite equally, but he's definitely as bad in some other games. And he's refereeing in Scotland. He's a terrible, terrible referee. I don't really know what can be done about it, because they don't seem to get marked or anything for their performance. But certainly other fans of other teams have also come out and said how bad he is in their games. And that's obviously, it's really quite a terrible situation for, I don't know what grade he is. But certainly when you see Clancy's name on the team sheet, I know Bridge always kids on about who's the referee, but when we saw it was Clancy before the game, you're already on tender hooks, aren't you?
Well, aye, but listen, I don't want to put it down to him. I know he was totally incompetent, poor referee, whatever you want to put it, but we're talking about our team, and we never performed. Did it influence it at times? Possibly it did. But that's no stopping us. He didn't stop us passing the ball. 10 yards at times last night. It wasn't him that done that in Midfield. We weren't as crisp and as quick as we've been. We'll take the point and we'll move on. And if I'm reading the league correctly, and I know you two are the smartest, but we're still 4 points clear, yeah? And we're at the top of the league. We're at the top of the league, not at the bottom, yeah?
Yeah.
It's just disappointing, that's all. It's just disappointing.
Aye, disappointing. That's
and not just the way we played, but mostly the way we played. And Van Bronckhorst knows fine well, that's not good enough. That performance will not get us a league. We will not win the league playing like that between now and the end of the season. We can't give goals away. We can't give goals away at all. That's what it's telling me. We can score the odd goal.
You're going to lose goals, Pritch.
No, of course you are. You should be losing goals during the season. All I'm meaning is that the way Van Bronckhorst is setting the side up, it looks to me as if he goes out and when the opportunities there, you go up there and you chase and you harry, you try and score, and then you come back and you're sitting in the midfield and you're just defending space. So you allow all the space back to the opposition team. They can do what they want because when it gets near our goal area, we'll suck it up and sort it out. And we did until a penalty. And that's just a thing that Linda was mentioning. But you know, if you don't score a second goal, that's one of the things that can happen. And it did last night. For one of our better players, Morelos. Unfortunate. He asked the question, why was he back at the corner of the 6-yard box? Who knows?
He was always there.
No, I'm saying that. Why? Well, okay, because that's the way the manager wants it to play. Yep. Somebody get back in there and cover.
All right, okay. The view for the bridge was at the start, all right?
Sorry, pal. Sorry, Linda. I get really up.
By the way, Linda, I'm not one for spreading rumours, but something happened and the big telly nearly get broke last night.
I'm saying nothing.
Yes. Let's just say it was about 3 inches away. As good as our team shooting at goals. Okay, right, we'll get these lines opened, right, and we'll take them in and we'll see where this adventure takes us, Linda.
Sounds great, Ox. Can't wait.
Go for it.
Let's hear from you.
I'm on you.
Why don't you give us a call on 0141 356 1972. It's your show. It's your platform. Let's hear from you.
Funny, Bridge, I mean, everybody's entitled to their view. I actually thought Connor Golson was their best player last night. I thought he actually strolled the game. If you think about it, even when they got that ball second half, McGregor could have sat in the stand.
McGregor was in the stand. I'm sure he was in the stand. I think Golson played Golson's normal game. Did very, very well, but nothing fantastic, nothing outstanding. I thought Bassey put in a massive shift because that's where most of their play was coming down the wings, particularly their right wing. So I thought that was what was happening. And in the second half, 100% sure that's what he did. He switched over and 2 men on Kent and push up forward with the 2 men as well. And that's overload on Barisic, who had just got leathered with the elbow, you know. So, it's just disappointing. We're not tough. We're just not tough. We're not tough.
Listen, Bridge, I think we're going to watch That's Not a Myth. Yeah. People will say we're not tough, London, and we had this debate last night. We can be bullied. We've lost 1 league game in 61. Yeah. You know, all right. We've got football players in our team, but at the pace you hope the football comes through. It's about winning football matches, and they're successful. They've drew 1 game away to Aberdeen. We've not dropped a point for a long time.
And that's brilliant. And that's absolutely brilliant. That the stat tells us it's brilliant. And it's great for our league position that we've not lost any games that way.
I'm only going to say this once more. Your name's no Linda.
Oh, sorry, Linda. Again.
It's still right, Bridge. No, I think in terms of the midfield, I don't know what you guys thought when you saw the team. Obviously, the young boy Sands coming in, and I thought he did all right. Ox, you know what Rangers fans are like, because he wasn't a shining star in his first game. A few folk are writing him off already. However, You know, it was a difficult game for him to come into. We also had, what did we have? Four midfielders missing: Aribo, Davis, Arfield and Jack. And maybe the wee dig that we need in a player, I know that the guys were talking about it when they phoned in last night, we need a Scottish player, we need somebody that knows what it's about, blah, blah, blah. But Jack is probably the nearest to that we've got. But unfortunately, we can't rely on him just now. But certainly, we maybe, I don't know if you agree, maybe a wee bit lightweight in that midfield area again, just because of the players that we've got missing. I don't know.
I'm going to take the fifth on that. The Wright and Hadji playing. It's the blend, and I don't think the two of them. But I'm going to take the fifth. That's all I'm saying, Linda.
Well, you don't have to say anything, but Hadji, and I don't want to pick on somebody.
Good goal. Scored a good goal.
Scored a good goal, and as Brad said, it was difficult to pick a man of the match. Probably wouldn't disagree with Golson, but Hadji himself, I still don't know what the best position is to play him in. But as I say, you don't want to be too critical of him because he did effectively got us a point.
Aye, did. I'm just saying, it's only my views, and I've been mine before, Bridgeman, but I don't think the blend's right in that kind of environment, that kind of game.
Absolutely right.
Hadji, yeah.
Absolutely right. I don't think Hadji and Wright are a blend with any player team we're playing. I think he needs to pick one, because they're very similar, style-wise, very similar. But one's got pace and one hasn't. And personally speaking, I want the man with the pace. But if you're going to play in midfield, then Hadji is a better midfield player. Oops.
Hello?
Hello, that Derek, yeah? Hello?
Hello?
Hello? Hello?
Yes.
How we doing, mate? All right?
All right, yourself?
Aye, good, mate. Derek?
Sorry?
Derek?
Aye.
Aye. I know it's a hard question, mate. Right, carry on.
Do you think Rangers need to sign a proper right winger instead of this chopping and changing every couple of games? 1 week it's Hadji, 1 week it's Wright, 1 week it's Sakala. Me personally, I don't think Wright's good enough for Rangers. And I think they need a proper box-to-box midfielder. I know Arfield's been doing that job, but he's like Roof, far too many injuries. I think they need somebody that can go box-to-box and get right past the strikers. I think that was sadly missing last night.
I think, I'll go to Linda with that. I think your point about the right-hand position, it's been a problem. We've lacked consistency in that area. There's times when Wright's done all right, there's times when Hadji's done all right, Sakala done all right, Tynecastle, but nobody's pegged in the position. Linda?
No, I would agree with that, Ox. And Scott Wright did okay last night. There's a couple of wee opportunities to maybe take a player on, maybe get in and get a shot. His first touch let him down maybe a couple of times as well. When Sakala came in, he got the hat-trick against Motherwell, didn't he? Then we didn't really see him for a few games after that as well under Gio. So we're obviously trying different players there. But
why do you think they don't give Bakuna a game? That would have been ideal for him last night with Ariba missing. I'm surprised he didn't even get on at all.
Yeah, Derek, yeah, we were talking about that as well, watching it with the family. We've not really seen anything of Bakuna at all under Gio. So are we going to see him now? You know, is he going to get a chance? Who knows? But certainly that right-sided position is a problem for us in terms of nobody seems to be able to nail it down.
I think Wright. Sorry.
On you go, Bridge.
I was going to say, I think Wright plays quite well within himself when there's plenty of space around about him. He can run into space and cross the ball in. As soon as everybody sees him, and when you see him and the ball comes to him, his first touch is absolutely crucial because invariably he hits it 5 yards in front of himself, and that's why he needs that space. Other than that, he's going to lose the ball, and then he'll be a tackle, an injury, whatever you want to book it even. These things are just bad. So Wright needs to be better as a player with the ball close to him. But to be a winger, you need to keep that ball close, just like the Oxley did when he was younger.
Of course, mate. You show him a thing or two, I'll tell you that. Derek, I agree with you, be right, mate. That's my assertion at the moment. He's in the games like that away from home, I don't know if he's going to get a strip. He's been away a year now, and I don't know if he's done okay at times, but he's not always floating my boat. But I don't want to judge him just on last night, you know.
I thought he made 2 minutes, and I wasn't a Gerrard fan. I think I've spoke to you before. I wasn't a Gerrard fan. I'm a big Joe fan, but I think that was his first mistake last night when he brought on Lundstrom. I think he should have brought on Sakala and just put the ball over the top for his speed. It's a bit of a surprise that he done well at Tynecastle, he done well against Motherwell, and then he seems to be out of the picture. It's like, I think maybe that would have been ideal for him last night. You get in behind it with speed. Actually, I was surprised when he even played right.
With 5 substitutes, if I'm being honest, after about 10 minutes to the first half, I had Wright and Hadji off personally. Wonder?
Yeah.
I agree with you, aye.
Yeah, I would definitely Ox. I mean, the thing about bringing Lundstrom on, I think when he brought him on, it was at the 64th minute. We were obviously still 1-0 up at the time. And you can kind of see that he maybe brought him on to try and shore things up a wee bit. I don't know, obviously the manager will know why he made the substitution. But certainly you wouldn't have argued with taking Wright and Hadji off Ox, absolutely.
Bridge?
Yeah, 100% agree. The two of them they weren't rotten, but they were quite poor. And I'm expecting better from both of them. But both of them have got skills, and they're not using them correctly. Simple as that. And we can't afford to have 2 players that aren't contributing. We need these people. We need these people to do it and be good on the pitch. That's what we need.
Aye, they're part of a team. They didn't shine last night, but they weren't great. You're right, that's a fair comment. Listen, Derek, anything else before you go, brah?
No, thanks. That's all. Thanks. Take care, mate.
Nice to hear from you, mate. Cheers, mate.
Thank you, mate.
Bye. Aye, good points for Derek, yeah. And I think everybody's seen it pretty much the same, maybe slightly different things, but we've dropped 2 points. It's not the end of the world. It's not the first drop we've had at Audrey.
No, absolutely
just want to let you know, we drew with 10 men up there the day we won the league in 87. You know, it's happened before.
Yeah, I think Ox, the disappointing thing was, I think just the overall performance. Under Gio so far, we haven't obviously been beating anybody 3-4-5-0. I don't think we were expecting that last night, but we've been creating chances, haven't we, Ox? And we've said in some of the games we haven't been taking them, but I think it was because we didn't really create many chances last night. And I don't know if you agree, but our possession wasn't good at all. We just didn't seem to string any more than 2 or 3 passes together at any time. So I think it's been the performance that's maybe shocked people, because I don't know, we didn't really see that coming, I don't think.
Aye. Listen, Fox was saying before the game, before we came on, just after the show, the pre-match show last night, he was saying that he thought it'd be a tousy game, and the whole team was right again. Anyway, we've been joined by Billy. Evening, Billy.
Evening, big man. How you doing? Evening, panel. Is you all right?
Good, Billy.
Evening,
good,
Billy.
mate. How are you, mate?
Aye, all right, mate. A bit down after last night, but listen, I'm not going to come on. Aye, I'm not going to come on and sugarcoat it, mate. To me, we weren't at the races last night. We played for about 20 minutes, but that's no the Rangers. We all know, definitely not. We could have been moving the ball a bit quicker. Maybe you can blame the conditions. You said it was windy up there, blah 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 that. But it's windy, you keep the ball on the deck. Simple. Zip the ball about and we could have passed it. We had the players on the park there to do a job. We didn't do it. We got a point, and that's basically it. Like, you know, that's the only positive we can get out the game for last night. Now, I'm not going to start pointing fingers at officials, but I'll tell you something right now. In my 53 years on the planet supporting the Rangers, right, I have never in all my life seen and competent officials. Honest to God, guys, I cannot believe how poor they were. Now, there was a sportsman's dance on in the Royal British Legion one day, and Alec Ray was one of the speakers. And this was about 5-6 years ago. And Alec was asked if there was an agenda against Rangers, right? And Alec burst out laughing. And his words was, he says, not at all, guys. He says, do you know the problem with the standard of refereeing in Scottish football? He says, it's that poor. He says, there is nothing coming up from below the ranks in Scottish refereeing to better what we already have. He says, and that, unfortunately, is the way it's going to be for the foreseeable future. And unfortunately, we'll just need to suck it up. Now, that was 6 years ago. And if anything, guys, the standard has got worse. Absolutely worse. And, I mean, I was on the radio, your show, a couple of weeks ago. It was a wee bit late on, I called, and I touched on the VAR subject. Now, like it or lump it, the VAR situation, guys, we need that in our game. Because I'll tell you something now, there was 2 or 3 big decisions last night that Clancy got woefully wrong. The first, the one on McGregor, I say it was 50-50. The two of them were going at pace. McGregor's got his eyes in the ball. The laddie's got his eyes in the ball. There is contact, be it minimum, but it wasn't went out as if McGregor went out and clattered them. So that's the only decision that I think he's got correct. The penalty kick on Morelos, right? That what a crazy rule that is. He's trying to get his hands are down by his body. He's trying to get the ball, pull his hands out the road. And he's booked him after it. Where they get that rule for it, I do not know. Scott Brown. Sorry, mate.
Some of the interpretation of the rules you can take. If the ball's moving towards the goal when you handle it, it can be a caution.
Deliberate handball, pal. Deliberate handball.
I don't know. I don't know if it was. If the ball's moving towards the goal, if you're stopping a goal scoring opportunity, that's how we booked him. Yeah. I didn't think it was a booking personally, but like, carry on, mate.
Never a booking's flying near me, as far as I'm concerned. And I'll tell you another big decision, right? A huge decision, which VAR would have sorted that in a minute. Now, for the life, I'm all for 50-50 tackles flying in, right? I love seeing all the Billy McNeils and the John Greggs flying into tackles and your Graham Souness's and all that. That was all part and parcel of the game, right? Now, Scott Brown has feigned injury last night to get a fellow professional sent off the park.
Yeah.
That's a fact. Now, now he's on a yellow card. If that goes to VAR, they show that there is zero contact with the player. Therefore, Brown is already on a yellow card, and he gets sent off for trying to get a fellow player. What's the rule? What did they cry it?
Stimulation, mate.
Yeah, for stimulation. He gets a second yellow for stimulation, and he gets sent off the park. The elbow on Barisic right in front of the four-side linesman was unbelievable. The guy's got blood coming out his nose. How can that guy not see that? And then
asking the linesman, mate, if you looked, his name's S. Wonder.
And then when Scott Brown and Clancy's going off the park at full time, they're laughing at each other. All right, we shouldn't have maybe fall into that trap, right? You understand that, but we know what he's like. He's that Scott Brown, in my opinion, played with the worst Celtic team in their history, right? In Celtic's history, right? He stole international caps for years, and that's all he's been ever good at. His full football career is basically be a clogger, right? I've seen better guys doing the part on a Sunday morning, playing better football players than he'll ever be.
Don't get him your headspace, man. Right, Wonder.
Anyway, sorry guys.
Oh, that's all right, Billy. You feel better for getting off your chest?
Oh, I had to, mate. Aye, I was going to come on last night, but I says I better calm down.
You're going to have to get a bigger couch in this studio one. Let's be honest, right? The linesman one, I think we all agree with that. It was a red card against Haynes, yeah, deliberate.
Yep.
Yeah. We also agree with the second booking on Kent simulation. The guy cheated, right? But let's not also take it away from the fact that we didn't perform. Yeah, we didn't keep the ball, we didn't create, we didn't make things happen. The manager said we didn't create, Linda.
Yeah, I agree, Ox, and I think Billy's saying that as well. You know, he said when he came on that he didn't want to sugarcoat the performance. It wasn't a good performance. We can play a lot better than that. Yes, we had a lot of players missing, but we still should have had enough to beat a kind of average Aberdeen team. And I don't want to disrespect opponents or anything like that, but you know, we should have had enough to beat them. The thing about VAR, Billy, I totally agree with you. I want to see VAR in Scotland. Unfortunately, I don't think it's even going to happen next season because apparently they're wanting to take more time to analyse how it's going to work and the benefits, etc. I don't have any qualms about VAR coming in here because I can't really think, and you know, maybe there's a couple of decisions. Maybe we would have given penalties away. We maybe had one offside goal that Kamar Roof got earlier, but other teams' decisions that they've had certainly would have a VAR decision would have come to a different conclusion. So I'm with you. I would like to see VAR up here, Billy, but I don't know if that's going to happen.
I don't know if we'll see it because the Scottish football's hating itself to death. Once again, just going back to that stadium last night, there's thousands of bears trying to get tickets up there. There's one stand behind the goal where we scored the first goal in it. The back section's pretty empty. There's thousands of seats all over the place. It's just crazy. So I don't know how they're going to afford VAR.
Yeah.
Well, surely the SFA and the SPL, never mind the clubs, surely the SFA and the SP, especially the SFA guys, they're the governing body. They should have some kind of pot, some sort of money put past for things like that. All right, the clubs will maybe have to contribute in the top flight, right? You get to generate money, to put money into the football in Scotland. They're the ones that should be doing it, guys.
They couldn't run them an odds, Billy.
Oh, I know, mate. I know, big guy. I mean, it's like you've got to have a product to sell to a sponsor. If your product's no a good product, nobody's want to buy it. So how can you attract the best players in the world, the best footballers, or for different areas in the country to come and perform on a stage that they don't want to perform on because the product's not there for them to play on? It makes no sense, you know what I mean? So, I mean, that firmly stops in my book. That stops at the top of the tree. Never mind the clubs. The clubs are trying their best all throughout Scotland. You know what I mean? They've all got their own agendas, what way they want to do this, what way they want to do that, eh? But it's the SFA and the SPL. They're the ones that should be doing this to generate money, to build a better product in Scottish football. It's as simple as that. And they're not doing it.
It would help if you let the punters in that wanted to watch the game, Linda, but that's another subject for another night. But look, Billy, we never played well. We have to take what mentioned. The referee was appalling. We know that. The linesman was appalling. We know that. But we drew a football match. It's how we react.
That's entirely correct. And let's hope we go and we beat Stirling on Friday night, and we've got our 2 games before that we go to the dark side, as we all know. But I can listen. There'll be a few more twists and turns in the race over the next coming in months, because they'll drop points to when you're never when you least expect it, guys.
I'll cut across you, mate. We'll be joined by Andy. Evening, Andy.
How you doing, panel?
All right, mate. All right. Yourself?
Yeah, not too bad. Not too bad.
Good. 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 Good.
I know, bad, mate. Just phoning in first time. Obviously, thought I'd pop my cherry the night. I've been listening for a couple of years, but
Pop your what?
Hi, Andy.
Not I'm on about, mate. But I'm just a wee
Yellow card right away, Andy.
Night, mate. I'm not going to lie.
Carry on, Andy.
Aye, mate. Just a wee bit worried with that showing last night against obviously them up there. I know what you were saying, it's only 2 points dropped, it's not a disaster, which I can see your point there, but I'll be honest, mate, there's a couple of times this season I've watched them across the city, right, just to see what we're up against in that, and mate, they're playing well now, man, you know what I mean, and they're signing players, and I know, but I can only go with last night. Last night was just terrible, I thought, mate, and the ideas.
We didn't play well, Andy. We didn't play well, let's be honest about it, yeah?
Aye, I know, and see, the thing is, mate, that's allowed, innit, obviously, but it's just the fact that, like we didn't really have options on the bench, see if you look at our last, 7 signings, for instance, it doesn't really, now we always talk about getting took to this next level and all that, it doesn't really fill maybe with hope, really, you know what I mean? All these free signings, loans and all that, you know what I mean? I don't know, how do you feel? You know what I mean? But see another thing, let's see Alfie up top, see if he's no scoring for us, I don't know, we're struggling for goals, aren't we?
Well, big picture, little picture, Linda. We didn't play last night. Big picture, we've dropped 2 points since Giovanni came in. Linda?
Yeah, that's right, Ox. If you think about after the semi-final against Hibs, when Gio came in, I think we were wondering what sort of job he was, that he had on his hands. And we've played 8 league games, he's won 7 and we've drew 1. So I think at that particular moment in time, after we get put out the cup, I think we would have taken that. It's just because before the winter break there, we were flying a wee bit, and we were creating lots of chances. Yes, we weren't taking them all, and we were playing really good football. So the performance last night has come, just as I said earlier, it was just a wee bit of a shock, but we had quite a few players missing. Hopefully we'll get some of them back from injury, and we just need to kick on. It's not the end of the world, and you know what? It might end up being a good point at the end of the day.
Andy, can you come, mate?
No, I agree with everything Linda's saying. No, I mean, she always talks sense, but I don't know.
Don't worry,
that's not what a man says. That's not what a man says.
Ox and that, see, even last night watching the game, it was a lot of long balls, maybe for Goldson, putting it up, maybe winning the ball back to Aberdeen. They're back in possession, and then nothing was happening. You know what I mean? There wasn't really a game plan, and they didn't really change much for me. See, I could tell watching that. Obviously, we got the goal, which obviously was great, and that, you know what I mean. But could they not have changed something through the game? Maybe to try and get us that second goal, because I don't know, Aberdeen are not great, mate. No, I mean, they always obviously, they seem to be see, obviously a couple of seasons ago at Hearts, whereas we couldn't beat them, and with a bit of a nightmare playing them. I don't know if Aberdeen's got to be like that with us this season, you know what I mean? Because that's twice we've played them. And obviously we've dropped points, as you know. We're actually lucky at Ibrox, I know it was a big night and that, obviously with what happened to Walter and that, but that's 4 points we've dropped against them, mate, and I just think they're terrible. They're 6th or 7th in the league, which says it all, mate, you know what I mean? But
they play against us, but remember they play against us.
That's fair enough, mate, and all the clubs pretty much do that, don't they? Let's be honest, but we need to be better than that, mate. Know what I mean? And see, obviously, I know you mentioned about Scott Brown and that. We need to have people on the pitch that's smarter that can play up to that. You know what I mean? Because he's starting to rip it out as a wee bit sometimes the way he is raising that, and we seem to fall for it. You know what I mean?
We want the kind of performance we had in his last Old Firm game when we put 4 in. and we played well.
Aye. Yeah, that's
and
exactly that, mate. You know what I mean? But that's it's wishful thinking, mate, because I don't know, man.
I think we've lost. Sorry, mate. Sorry.
On you go.
I think we've see the 3 week break. I think we lost the momentum, right? Because we were going along like a steam train. We were flying. We're playing great stuff. We're not conceding goals. And then all of a sudden, it comes both. It's like hitting a brick wall, everyone's stopped. So we've lost the momentum and we lost our rhythm. And then we've had the 3 week break. And I think it's, the people say, the players, they're blaming this and blaming that. It's to me, it's momentum and rhythm, right? But see, once you've got that as well as and everyone's really ticking along nice as you like, it's just like the engine was going brilliant. And it's just as if I've came to a standstill, and to try and turn it from how we've been playing to like a switch going on, basically. It doesn't work like that. Should we have been good enough to beat Aberdeen? Absolutely. Should have been good enough with the players that started the game last night and the subs that came on to beat Aberdeen? Absolutely. But unfortunately, that's what happens in football, eh? And as quite rightly said, Belinda there, that point could be a very precious point in the months to come.
It's no, Bridgeman, last night's gone, it's how we react.
Yeah, indeed. We've got to watch what we're doing and don't get too dragged down, because we've got to raise our head up. But I think it was Billy was saying there about the impetus we had, and all of a sudden everything's changed. They brought the break forward to suit. Well, we know it was to suit, and that's just that could have probably been there to stop us, and it has done. We came back, and it's like a couple of years ago when we came back from where were we? We were in Dubai. We came back and we were just dreadful. That's easy. Sorry.
Well, you'll never be able to answer. That's gone now, unfortunately. If we'd have played them on the 29th of December and Aribo would have played, we might have get beat 2-0. We might have won 2-0, but we'll never be able to answer that. All we can see, Linda, is last night we did not play well, and it's how we react.
Yeah, absolutely, Ox. We've got to have a positive reaction. We've obviously got a cup match, which you'll start to build up to, obviously, later on in the week. But especially, we can't afford many more performances like that, particularly away from home. We know everybody raises their game. It's their cup final when Rangers come to their stadiums. But we've got to basically be big enough to stand up to that, and we must, get the wins. And I think last night, it's not a good thing that you draw a match and you don't play well, but Gio will have learned quite a lot about the team. He'll have learned quite a lot about the squad as well. And I know when he was interviewed last night, he didn't say too much. He wasn't going to come out and slaughter anybody. He knows it's a tough place to go. He did say that. So he will have learned quite a bit about his team and his squad and the players that he's got at his disposal. And you wonder as well whether it might just prompt him to go out and maybe add a couple, just to strengthen Ox, because, perhaps if we've got a few injuries and we've got players missing, we might not have the depth that we thought we had. I don't know, that's maybe for another discussion. But certainly... Who
have we got missing, Linda? Who have we got missing?
So last night, what did we have? Aribo, Davis, Arfield, Jack, Ruth and Hollander, I think, was the players I wrote down. Balogun was on the bench, Bridge. So, there was quite a few. It's that midfield area, Ox. I do think, the forward players were all right.
I'll ask you two guys before I let them go. Would you have started Sands in hindsight, Billy?
No, I wouldn't have. And the reason, they hurt me, the boy.
Put a shift in.
It did. Listen, they hurt me, the laddie. I'd have preferred the boy. Listen, Giovanni knows better than me. You know what I mean? He obviously knows the player better than any of us. My opinion, no, I wouldn't have started him just due to the fixture, because it's a hard enough fixture to go with battle-hardened players at the best of times than it is with just getting a young laddie there and firing him into that big game. Hopefully the young lad will learn for that, because it'll certainly bring him new. He'll know exactly what to expect, because the next step up for that is playing against the dark side. Do you know what I mean? So the laddie will know. So it can only be a learning curve for the boy. Yeah.
What would you have done with the personnel that could be selected last night? What would your team have been?
Well, in that role, I maybe played Bacuna, or I played Lundstrom in there. And I'm not a great lover of Lundstrom, but I'd have played him in there because his presence. Do you know what I mean? To win tackles and put yourself about in there, because you've got to win your personal battles first against these games, and then if it was Aberdeen and Rangers going toe to toe football wise, there's only got to be one winner, and it's Glasgow Rangers all day long. But in these games, first and foremost, you've got to win your personal battles all over the park. It doesn't matter if it's right back, centre forward, left midfield, or whatever. You've got to win your personal battles. Once you win your personal battles, the football takes care of the rest. And we're a far superior football team than Aberdeen will ever be. But that's I think that's where we fell down last night, because we didn't win our individual battles all over the park as well.
Right, okay. What about you, Andy? Would you have started Sands in hindsight? We're not going to go to Giovanni, we're just talking about in hindsight.
I know what you're saying, mate. It's a tough one to say, because he didn't have... It wasn't like a terrible debut he had, you know what I mean? But maybe really played good, but see, as I think Billy just said, it's a tough one. Who have we really got that can... Or you'd say, right, I'd play him instead. Like, Lundstrom doesn't really do it for me, you know what I mean? Like, Bacuna, he's more, for me personally, like an attacking midfielder, but again, he doesn't seem to be getting much game time, so that kind of says it all for me personally. And then see, like other players I've got, like Jack, I can't see us really getting many games out of him, and then he's got to pick up another injury he's got to boot for a while, which hurts me, to be honest, you know what I mean? But I think that's just stating facts, mate. And then see guys like Ruth, like, see, once he gets back for his injury and that, me personally, I'd be saying to him, mate, you're not playing for your country. Rangers comes first, because he'll end up going playing for his country, picking up another, because he's got to be injured all the time. We knew that, see, like when he played the Leeds and that, he was bad with injuries then. We can't afford him to do it. You know what I mean? And I don't know, see, like guys like Atton as well, see, if I was him, I'd maybe be saying to myself, I'd be better staying in Germany, because I'm going to come out here and I'm going to go into the last 2 minutes of a game. That's not got to do nothing, mate, you know what I mean? I don't know, I'm maybe rambling on a wee bit here, mate, but it's just...
No, you're all right, mate.
It's just how I feel, you know what I mean?
Anyway,
like,
talking about people who ramble on, we couldn't find anybody, but we found George. How we doing, George?
All right, lads, bye, man. Just coming back down to earth after that woeful performance last night.
It wasn't very good, George. It wasn't very good.
That was shocking. That's the worst I've seen Rangers play for a long time.
I think you've got to be honest, mate. We weren't great against United at Ibrox.
I know that, man. Until you notice yourself, man, obviously, we see behind me. We see we gain the ball to the opposing team all the time, mate, when I'm always this about. I mean, our passing last night was abysmal, by because we were lucky to pass it like behind me 6 yards to gain it away. And does anybody think the same me behind me with that Scott Wright? I think you get one out of 3 games out of Scott Wright.
Nah, yeah, at best, mate.
Aye.
No, I mean,
I don't know. We need an attacking midfielder, 100%. You can see there was a big gap missing the midfield last night. That was a evil, 100%. And of course, Hadji was in the wrong position again. I don't know why that is. And Bacuna, obviously, why he's not impressing Giovanni at all, because he's still getting a game, you know. And Sakala, I don't know. What does Sakala need to do to get a game?
I would have had him on a lot earlier, mate, just for his pace.
I mean, do you not think Alfie was woeful last night?
I think he put a shift in, mate. I think, first of all, he didn't get great service. Secondly, he was also with Hadji playing there, but I just don't know where he was going at times. I know Hadji got the goal, and also Wright Kent at times, great skills, put the ball in and worked well for him. They passed it about. But the other side of the park, mate, there was very little support, and I don't know if the boy was maybe too nervous getting back up there. I know he comes through there, and I don't know if that affected him. But I agree with you, George. He's not consistent enough to play for us.
I totally agree. That's what 100% say. That last day,
and that's what I think. I think with him and Hadji being there, mate, it affected Morelos.
Aye, man. Do you hear Morelos is meant to be out for the thing, mate?
He's been called up by Colombia. I'm sure we're going to mention that.
He'll be lucky if he gets 1 minute, one or 2 minutes.
No, you know, he's got to be another written for Colombia, know what I mean? Just no getting 2 minutes, as you say, mate.
2 and 3 minutes.
I know, mate. Like, see, honestly, I'll just jump in here before I go, guys. Like, what was I got to say there? I'll just hit a blank, mate.
That's all right. I do it all the time, Andy. Don't worry about it.
I was got to say something. Like, do you think we need to spend a bit of money on? I know there's no guarantees, right? But we're in January, right? We clearly need freshening up, or we need something. I know we've got players out, but do you think we need to spend a wee bit of money, or are you happy with what we've got? Because, as I say, mate, I know Ox, I know you always say, don't worry about them across there, it's what we do, which I'm with you on that, right? But see, at the same time, I like to keep a wee check on them and that, hoping they're having a nightmare, which they're no, you know what I mean? And see, they're playing well now, mate. They're spending money in that, and I don't think all we hear is going to this next level, mate. See the last 7 players, mate. Maybe 1 or 2 of them possibly take us to that next level. See the rest, mate. It's just wages that we're not going to be able to move on. That Barker, it's got to be another Barker, mate. A big wage. We're not going to be able to move them on. We're going to end up with about 30, 40 people in our squad. Know what I mean?
Moving them on's the hardest thing in modern football. I'll take your point. In the panel, do we have to spend to get some quality in now? Yes or no? Yes. Simple as that. Yes or no? Bridgeman?
For me, no. No spending.
Linda?
Yes.
Bridgeman, it's no the pub.
No spending.
George?
Yeah, 100%.
I'm with you. It's a yes for me, Billy.
Definitely, mate. 110% all day long.
Mm-hmm. I think we need that. I think we need some. If we can get the right player in, not just spending for spending's sake. Andy, yourself?
I know. I'm the same as you, mate. 100%. We need to spend money, but again, you need to get the right player. It's all right saying, we'll just spend free, but it needs to work. You know what I mean? Which is easier said than done, but. You know what I mean? They seem to be doing it, which really annoys me, man. You know what I mean? Can't stand them, but I'm just obviously this is a day after obviously a terrible performance at Aberdeen in my opinion. Obviously, you know what I mean. So obviously I'm still a wee bit hurting for that, you know. But I'm just looking at that squad. I was looking at the bench and that nothing was really happening. Wasn't changing nothing, you know what I mean? And see this. When we're 1-0 up, just keeping the 0 and that's starting to annoy me a wee bit, mate. Letting them have all the ball, just sitting back. Is that what we're all about now? You know what I mean? We're better than that, man. They're horrendous.
I have to agree with that, mate. Last night, I felt as if we were going for 1-0.
Aye, mate. And just, they're all the ball.
Right, Andy, listen, mate. Great to hear from you. First time call. Round the applause for Andy.
Yes, as I say, mate, I've been listening for a few years,
well
man.
Done, mate.
I'm going to need to call in here, man, and just. But I know I was rambling on a bit, mate, but it's just how I feel, mate. Because as I say, I've been watching other teams and that, and they're all playing, in my opinion, playing well. So we need to just step it up, hopefully, and just getting this league taken care of. You know what I mean?
All right, mate. All right. Cheers, mate. You enjoy your night. We're going to have a tune if that's all right with you, Andy boy. Yeah.
No hassle, mate. All the best. All right, mate.
Cheers, mate.
Cheers, mate. See you later. Cheers.
Get yourself some mute because we're going to have a tune.
Who's that TV calling? Just who's that TV all I know? They're the boys who loyal word around the Scotland Yard, and I like to show the world what they can do. Some people say the Alma Madrid,
us a call on 0141 356 1972. It's your show, it's your platform. Let's hear from you.
Yes, well, last night's came and went, Linda. It's been an interesting, if you like, 24 hours thinking about it. It's no, maybe arguably no the worst performance ever up at Pittodrie, but it certainly wasn't our best, was it? Linda?
Sorry, Ox. Sorry.
You've been hanging about the bridge too much.
I nicked in the stairs to get a cup of tea.
So you've been caught out. You've been caught out, haven't you?
Sorry.
You're not as quick as you used to be, are you?
Oh, no,
you did before you phone.
Oh, George. School girl error, George.
That's it, mate. School girl error. Before you phone.
I made a few in myself back in the day, George.
What's that, Marker?
I made a few in myself back in the day.
1983.
Oh, a bit before that, if I'm being honest, George. Dear. Anyway, look, it's gone. Last night's gone. We take it on the chin. We're big enough to know, and everybody, the theme is we didn't play well. Linda, then Billy.
Yeah, absolutely, Ox. And I don't think anybody is disagreeing with that. As much as we've talked about the referee's performance and performances from certain opposition players and how it influenced the game, we just didn't play as well as we know that we can. And it is how about we react. It's whether or not we do now have to have a wee look at the squad, is what you said earlier there. And you asked us about whether we needed to spend money and buy players. For me, I said yes, but it's not squad players. For me, it needs to be somebody who's a first team starter, Ox, because we don't want any more projects or people that are going to come on to their game in the future. If you were buying somebody, for me, it would need to really be a starter.
Well said.
Billy?
Aye, definitely, guys. I think they're needing, personally, I think they're needing a steely midfielder. Now, if they can't get a Scottish one, but obviously we're talking about wee Ryan Jack now. I love the bones out that wee guy. Fantastic football player. His vision, he's just a cracking Glasgow Rangers footballer. Surely there must be a scouts through Giovanni in the Dutch system or in the British system. We must know of some steely-minded British type footballer for the middle of the park. So when they can still play football, but when we come up against teams like it was last night, we can mix it up. We need a minder in the middle of the park, in my book, to protect the players running about them. Like, to let Alfredo go and play, to let Ryan Kent go and play, to let Sakala, and even Hadji, let him go and play. Somebody that can win the ball in the middle of the park, keep it nice and simple, play a bit, and give the ball to ball players and let them knock the ball about and do the damage for us. That's what we're needing. And as Linda correctly said, it can't be somebody it's just got to be a project. It's got to be an established footballer. And if we've got to pay for that, then so be it. You know what I mean? That's just the way it is. That's football. Last night's gone, as we said. It's how we react to it. I think we will react to it, and we'll react to it well on Friday, because that shows you the difference between who's a good side and who's a great side. And then if we can get the rhythm going again and get the momentum going again, then we'll go to Parkhead after the couple of league games before it, and we'll see who's the best team then. Because listen, we're still 4 points clear now. We won our next 2 league games. It doesn't matter what they do. We're still going to be sitting top of the pile. You know what I mean? Let them think about that. Let them think about us.
Aye, I get it, mate. I get it. George, look, these players are hard to find. I mean, if I'm being honest, see the boy Hedges that plays for them.
He's a good player, mate. He's a good player.
When I was looking at him and he was playing on the right of their team, and I'm thinking, would I rather have him or Wright? I think the answer is I'd rather have Hedges and Wright. Now, how consistent he is,
I agree with you that. I agree with you, by the way, 100%. He's a quality player, him.
Mm-hmm. I mean, I'm not saying,
as you say, by the
answer,
way, Scott Wright's far too inconsistent. Not talking about.
Mm-hmm. I don't know if he's the answer, but we'll see. Bridgeman, what did you make of the news? Alfredo getting called up, obviously could be missed some games.
First of all, I'm delighted for him. Mm-hmm. Well done, because he's lost out a couple of times, and he does want to play for his national team. But for us, kind of disaster, isn't it? This time of year, disaster for us. So we're going to, Big Ethan's going to get his legs run off him, that's for sure. Because he's the only real, him and Roof will be away, isn't he? He's away.
Well, if Roof goes away, there's potential for games to be called off.
Well, I think it's all going to be called off anyway because of the chap from the Far East.
Yeah. Can I come in a wee minute here?
Yes, George.
What about the boy Tony Weston and the boy McCann coming in? He name a wee chance.
It's a big. Oh, George, there will be kids.
I know. It's a bigger level. You know what I mean? But I'm quite sure they could do a job for us. Quite sure they could. We'll see. For a game.
We'll see if any of them go in the park at the weekend. You know.
Aye, might do.
You know, but we'll see. Any thoughts, Linda?
Yeah, I mean, I think the kids will get a chance, some of them, but it's when you play them, George, isn't it? Because, even thinking about Friday, George, and I don't know if he'll make a lot of changes. He might have possibly was going to, but after last night, he might want to give folk another chance to get us a few goals up, then start making changes, because I think you're allowed 5 subs.
Aye.
But if Alfie's away, George, I mean, surely to goodness, we've brought Itten back. We've got Sakala as well. Roof, as we say, we don't know what's going to happen with him, but hopefully they're going to start stepping up, because we can't become like a one-man team again. We can't be totally reliant on Alfie all the time.
Well said, Linda. Well said.
By the way. It's also the same with Aribo as well, George, isn't it? I mean, he's a big miss, but other players have got to step up.
You can see where he's missing, can't you? It was almost like the Dundee United game, you know what I mean? Where we kept him off in case he got a yellow card and we brought him on the last 10 minutes. We could see we were missing him. We were missing him big time.
Yeah.
I mean, a player of that ability, man, you're always going to miss, aren't you?
He's a top player, George.
He is that, man. He is that.
You know, he's a top player, whether we like it or not. I mean, other people are starting to realise that now. We've known him for a while, mate.
No, we've always known. We've known since he came. You know what I mean?
You know.
I think reading into Giovanni. Sorry, mate. On you go, buddy.
No, I was going to say Aribo's got a lot of poise about him. You know, quality, top quality player. And it's all said. Everybody knows it.
So say that. What I was going to say there was reading into, but I thought Giovanni's his interview after.
Brought across you, Billy.
Sorry, mate.
We'll be joined by Liz. How are we doing, Liz?
I'm fine. Yourselves?
Good, mate. Good. What's on your mind?
Hi, Liz.
Hiya. How are you?
Hiya.
I was disappointed about last night's result, but my downside is if one player can get away with everything, but if we put it on to Alfie would have been sent off right away. I just think it's wrong. I just think it's all wrong. And I mean, he was just acting like a little child. I mean, I'm sure our own kids wouldn't act like that in a game of football. So why did he get away with it?
Linda.
Yeah, Liz. Liz, I think the team talk for Aberdeen last night would have been for him to do exactly what he did. And unfortunately, I'm afraid that's just what it would have been about. And it's not that we allowed him to do it, but we perhaps just didn't have the players in our team last night that would have taken care of him, because Ox mentioned that we should have played them the way we did when we beat them at Ibrox, whatever it was it 4-1, 4-0? last season, at the end of the season. We took care of him, and we didn't have the players to do that last night. But it's still annoying, and I totally agree with you. The way he reacted and the way he acted throughout the game, he should have been sent off for simulation. And Billy was talking about that earlier on. If we'd had VAR, Kent wouldn't have got sent off, and Brown would have got his second booting, and he'd have been off the park. But unfortunately, it didn't happen. But as Ock said, that wasn't why we drew the game. It was more about how we performed. But I totally agree with you. Very, very annoying and frustrating.
Aye. I think the night before the game, I think it was Bob Jarrett said we shouldn't be dragged down to their level because it makes the two teams closer together. And that's what happened, in my opinion. We get suckered into doing something and acting, and then it suits the kind of individuals, yeah?
Yeah, but the annoying bit for me was when Kent was sent off, and the way he smiled and the way he went to Tavernier. I just think that was shocking. How are the youngsters coming up into our team?
Couldn't agree more.
Looking at that.
Could not agree more, yeah.
It's just shocking. But anyway, we're going to win again. We're going to bounce back. We're going to win on Friday.
Well said, Liz.
Roll on. I don't care. We can get a lot of stick about it.
I bet you are. Yeah, I bet you are. Yeah, but that's the highlight of their season. 2 draws, Liz.
Yeah, exactly. It's not as if we've been beat or nothing yet. And I mean, as Gio said last night, he was disappointed, but the way they played, I mean, we didn't play our best. Coming back for winter break, but what annoyed me as well, look with all the virus that's going about, and yet it was lifted again on Monday. Why couldn't they just let the games carry on, and then, because this virus is not going to go away. It's not going to go away. I've been a lot of folk ill with it as well. It's not going to go away. But coming back to a winter break, the players have got to bond again, and I think they will. I think it'll be a Friday night and we'll win. And I'm hoping, keeping fingers crossed, Hollander's back very soon.
I wonder why, Liz. I wonder why.
I had to say it because somebody would have said it anyway, so it doesn't matter.
Is this all a favouritism towards Hollander come back out again? Liz?
Is it his heading skills you like?
I just think, I'm not going to lie, I think Barty's been immense, but I just find that you do miss him, and you miss, as I say, you miss Hollander, you miss Joey, and I think I've loved to see him stay in and play him more, but I'm glad he's back because I think he'll come on a better player, and I think we need him now as well.
Aye, well, we'll see. I don't know. Only time will tell. Can't judge him in last night, can we, Bridge?
Well, I think I've just heard that Helander and Itten. That's better. Couldn't get up a mute there. Sorry. I thought I just heard Liz saying that she's now got 2 favourites. Itten and Helander. Wow, that's them spoken for.
Didn't I forget about Alfie?
Oh no, him as well. Oh my God, women.
Oh yeah, I could. No, to be fair, I'll support my team no matter what. Every single player in that part.
You're going to need a king size wall for that.
I know.
Linda,
you just love the band.
You dived in there.
I'm saying nothing, Liz.
You stick up for me.
I will, Liz.
No, Linda, Liz, she got the cardboard cutouts, the real life-size cardboard cutouts. So I've got the evidence.
Poor Linda.
I'm still waiting for my Geo one to arrive, Liz. I've had to pay a fortune for it.
Yeah. That was one of my favourites as well, but nah, I'll just, hopefully our team will just bounce back soon and do well, but I was just so annoyed. I mean, the result was a fair result. We could have gotten beaten last night, but we got a point. But I just think with him and that team and him, I just thought he was just terrible.
Liz, do you not think it's strange that we were together for 2 weeks and it looks like we were playing Tappy or Ludo?
I just caught the end of that there.
What an it was that?
Was his mere your twister kind of person, Joe?
Yeah. Oh, me, funny. Oh, me. You need a laugh, do you?
Anyway, talking
Still
about
support our team.
somebody that was a champion at Twister. We've been joined by Andy Felix.
No.
Good
evening, Andy.
Hi, Andy.
Good evening, everyone. Linda,
Andy.
Liz.
Evening, Andy.
Hi, Andy.
Even in Andy.
Right, here goes then.
Normally comes in and says good evening to the lasses. Did you hear that?
That's a good evening to you all. Right, here we
pick up for me.
Here we go then. Here we go. That is absolute dire for me. That waited 3 weeks for that. Jesus Christ Almighty. What worries me, right, is we've been saying, I've never totally bought into this since Gio's took over. We've been playing great. Well, hang on a minute. Am I missing something? I may have been shot down, and I know you're going to say 1 out of 60. Here we go.
Oh no, 1 out of 61.
Mini filth, absolutely dire. Scum D struggled to win 1-0. Could have been 1 each against a bunch of Waynes. St Mirren, not too good. And then last night, absolutely honking. There's still the same problems in this Rangers team. Take out last year and the good run they had. Every time it comes to a major game, physicality, we bottle it. We tend to get knocked out of every cup competition in a certain situation, and then we go and draw. That's 4 points. The same failings are still there, although Gio's in there and he's got to be getting time to get his teams in. We should be out of sight. We've dropped 4 points to Aberdeen. We've dropped 2 points to Motherwell, 2 points to Hearts, and then again last night. So, this is good and well and truly. We could have been well away. Well, now, what we've got to do, we've got to win the next 2 league games, hopefully beating Livingston on Tuesday and throwing the pressure back on them on the Wednesday for the Hearts game. But if we drop anything stupid in their 2 league games before we go to the Pedo Dome, we could have problems here. We're letting these hang on to us, and we should be out of sight. We're throwing games. These same players have still not got the bottle when it comes to the crunch, and Gio, he knows that as well. He can't do a lot, but we should think after them getting the games called off. Where's the fire in the belly to say, right, you've cut these games off, now we're going to come back and show you. That was absolutely honking last night. We played in their hands. Bob J said it. You got the Lego Muncher laughing at us, laughing with the referee. Now, I don't totally buy into the refs, being biased, but see, after last night's carry on, somebody needs to take a look at that. Really, somebody needs to take a look at that. But then I'm not going to use that as an excuse, because at the end of the day, we should have had enough guns, enough fire in that belly there last night to go out and sort them out, and we didn't. And we still got a problem. How the hell they're still only 4 points behind us? I don't know. I mean, they're 1 game away from disaster, them, in the league. Another league defeat. Usually you lose 4 games, you're not going to win the league up there. But you're looking at that now. If we slip up now, it's game on. I'm worried. I'll be honest with you. But nowhere we've been playing outstanding football since Gio's taken over. Look at some of them games. I mean, the Scum D game, Jesus Christ. And that was a bunch of wins. We've got lucky.
We didn't play well in that game. There's something similar in both games. Joe Aribo doesn't start both games, Obviously, come on against Dundee United. But look, I don't know what you've ever watched in your life, but you'd never have. Even last season, it wasn't perfect.
No, it wasn't.
No, it's never perfect. I mean, even if you look at the result last night, Chelsea drew with Brighton. Brighton should have been the European champions. It's a game of football. They're not going to win all the time.
Yeah, I get that, but I'm not bothered about Chelsea. I'm bothered about Rangers, and it's concerning me the way we're going.
Only example, you don't win every game.
I know you don't, but at the end of the day, you put some passion and pride into it, and in the big games, we tend to fall down. We've no fire. We get bullied. There's no way that should have happened. We played right into their hands last night. Nobody stuck up to him when he was at it. There were 3 of them. Ferguson, the guy there with the elbows, and the Lego Muncher. Right? And they knew exactly what they're going to do. Rangers should be savvy and cute enough to work that out. We played this mob many, many times. We know what they're about. We supposedly have the better players. So why are you not using your heat?
and sorting them out and moving them about and taking them out instead of getting into stupid. I mean, I wouldn't mind Ken. He should know. He did them up at the Pedo Dome the last time. He fell for it again.
Yeah, but we didn't play well. That's the bottom line. George,
No.
UK?
I totally agree with Andy, but you know what I mean. And we seem to fall for it with him all the time, man. I mean, they play the rough and tumble games, man. We seem to fall for it, man. We seem to get involved in it. Whereas we shouldn't, man. You know what I mean? We should be playing football and winning the games, you know what I mean? Because we're a much better football team than they'll ever be. I mean, I just can't fathom it, man. Why we dropped to their level. We shouldn't be doing that.
Tight Park, Monday night. We didn't play well. A lot of factors. Maybe the wrong team was selected in hindsight.
Right.
I mean, you know, the boy will be fair in him. Wright and Hadji in the same time in that kind of game against that kind of team. Did you know I think it was a bit, it must have been a bit heavy for that boy Sands to get chucked into that game last night? In hindsight, mate, listen, did I think the boy was outstanding? No, I never. Is it the worst debut I've ever seen? No, it's no. Anyway, talking about guys who always debut well, we'll be joined by Alex for a short evening, Alex.
Good evening, Oaks here.
All right,
Bridgeman, Linda, Liz, Andy, George, everybody else. I don't know who else is there, but how you all doing? All right?
Fine, yourself.
Good stuff.
Over to you, Alex.
Well, Oaks here, all I'm going to say is, if you don't play, you're not going to win games. That's first and foremost. There wasn't a performance here with Rangers. Never mind the referee, the full lot. We've got experienced players in there. We know exactly what it's all about going up to Pittodrie. You get the sleeves rolled up at the beginning and you go for the battle. And once you win that, you start playing football. They're no great shapes, Aberdeen. But I'll tell you one thing. See, when they turned around and whenever, to me it was a penalty kick, the McGregor incident. Let's be quite truthful how I look at that, because if it was the other way about and it's us getting in and go, I'd be certainly looking for a penalty. So I think we got halfway one there. But the point is, that didn't have to come back because he made sure after that. But not just the referee's performance, the team selection as well. It was very big decision playing the young boy Sands in midfield, especially his first competitive game, by the way, up at Pittodrie. I honestly thought they probably brought that boy in maybe at Ibrox, maybe Friday night against Stirling Albion, but there you go. I thought we were very lightweight in the middle of the park, and Morelos to me was the only one up front that tried to have a go at them.
Does the boy Sands, did we put him under pressure last night, or does it say Disney fans the other two, Alex?
I just think the fella was like a rabbit in headlights last night. He couldn't get up to the physical, the side of the game, the speed of the game. Now, that boy's coming out from America. They're coached to be football players. Mm-hmm. I've just watched a game last Sunday, an amateur game, and it was the exact same as that. Just a kick up the park, everybody get tore down and do a bit of kicking, slide kicking. That's exactly what it was about. Then again, you get the referee. He's at the Knights of St. Columbus. We know about him. So, at the beginning of the game, I turned around and went, lad, there's going to be bookings and I'll be sending off. That's exactly what it's like with this guy. But we've got to go and we've got to perform. It's all about Rangers, and we certainly never performed last night.
Are you blaming the manager, Alex? Are you disappointed? Did he get it slightly wrong? Is it his first sort of setback or first criticism? Is that fair?
I think it is also to be quite truthful. The midfield, when I seen the midfield coming out, I went, "This could be problems here." I honestly thought. Who would you have picked? Well, I know the guy's taking a lot of stick now, but I'd have played Lundstrom in there, centre midfield, for the bit of dig, especially against the guy that caused all the trouble. Seriously. But when the young boy went in there, Sands, I thought, right, this is it. But certainly it was well out his depth last night.
Right, as a debut, it was the great, but it was the we've seen worse. But we can't judge him in that, Alex, can we?
No, exactly. And I thought up front, I honestly thought Sakala would have played. I really did. Place the score right. This is all right. after the game and that, and everybody's get the answers and that. If the game had won the game, it'd be no different. But when I seen the selection of the team, I honestly thought, this is going to be right hard. And then you see what you're up against. It's just, it was a poor night for us, to be quite truthful. I think the 3-week break there, by the way, broke a bit of momentum, because before that we were playing reasonably well and we were getting results. But last night's took us back now. And I know we're talking about 4 points in front. 4 points is absolutely nothing, really. Absolutely nothing. All that is, you lose another game and it's wide open. And this is what it's about now. We should be about 8-9 points in front now in this league. And we've really got to start everybody together now. Get the sleeves rolled up and go out there and play with Rangers now. Every one of the players.
All right, I'll let the two ladies come in and change up. We'll go to Linda first, and then Liz can come in. There you go.
Yeah, I agree, Alex. It's definitely. I think we'll need to buckle ourselves in, because I think it's probably going to go all the way, isn't it? You're right. We should be out of sight, considering all the points that we've dropped at home. When you think about that, we could have another maybe 4-6 points on the board, but we've not. So we are going to have to just see this through, and I think both teams will drop points, in the coming weeks or months. However, we've just got to make sure that we finish on top at the end of the season. But I do expect it to be a bumpy road, Alex. We wanted to win it at a canter, but I don't think it's going to happen. I don't think it's going to happen at all. I think it's going to be tight, but I still think we're good enough to win the league.
Liz?
Yeah, I agree too. The only thing I was just saying that I agree, but I wouldn't have took Scott Wright off last night, because I thought he.
Oh, hold on! I've got the radio, the station on. Hello.
Hello.
Mate. How you doing?
Yes.
I agree, and I thought he shouldn't have took Scott Wright off last night. I thought he was playing pretty well.
We'll come back to that one, Liz.
Yeah, why?
We'll come back to that. We'll get a caller coming in. I think it's Canada. Good evening, caller.
Hello?
Hello, how are you doing?
Not too bad.
All right. What's your name, mate?
John.
All right, John, how are you doing? All the way to Canada. Give us your thoughts, mate. What's on your mind?
Well, my thoughts are, last night, 94-minute game, the ball in play maybe 60 minutes, eh? Taking time out for fouls, free kicks, throw-ins, etc. 21 fouls against Rangers. That's them on their heels 21 times. How can you get any momentum then?
Good point. That's a good point. Alex, good point. Good point.
It certainly is. Yeah, it's a fair comment. But we're expected to go up there and play football. We know it's exactly. Pittodrie's no changed last night, the last 10 years. We know what it's like. It's just the exact same. It's a physical battle. That's what they do. And we've got to build for that, first and foremost. As I said before, you've got to win the battle, then the footballers take over. But we were very, very poor Rangers football last night. And that's the being all. We can blame this, we can blame that. But the bottom line is, we knew exactly what we had to do up there. And we all fell flat. I don't think it was a positive, to be quite truthful. Golston played not too bad, I'll give him hit. And I thought Morelos done. But he was up there with no support.
Could I just say one thing?
Yeah, John, on you go, mate.
Referees. There's more than one way to throw a game in the way of other people, the team you don't like. And this guy, honestly, it just, every time there's any momentum, foul against, any 50-50 ball, it's a foul against Rangers.
All right.
And I mean, what I'm saying is, a devious referee, there's more than one way to put a team off their game. You don't have to have the big decisions. Oh, you have to have the small decisions. And like I say, 21 fouls. roughly one every 3 minutes of play. How can you ever get we've all played the game. How can you get any momentum under them rules?
Bridgeman, can you come?
John, it's a mystery. I said it earlier tonight in my view from the bridge. I cannot understand 21 fouls committed by Rangers. I can't get that in my head. Seriously. And I look at it and I know that they're a dirty team, Aberdeen, and they've some really dirty players, and they've only got 7 fouls or something like that against them. No. That's totally wrong. It's like the figures should be the other way. There should have been 21 fouls against Rangers by Aberdeen. And no, it's Rangers. The fouls against Rangers, the fouls by Rangers against other teams is mounting all the time. And if you look back at the stats, you'll find that we're the dirtiest team in the league based on the stats. That's not right. It wasn't right last night. The referee, an absolute shambles, the referee, that guy. And you don't need to see, he's walking about talking to Scott Brown most of the game.
Yeah.
Most of the game. We
All
can't
right.
him. That's just wrong.
John, you've got some background noise there, mate. I don't know if you've got the show on or whatever, but
I've got it muted. The TV muted. Does that not work?
No, it's all right, mate. It might have disappeared now. You carry on, mate. Listen,
just devious refereeing is what I'm saying. It doesn't take big like penalties, ordering off of that. Just kill a team that can play football. That's all you have to do, and that's called devious refereeing.
I'll take you to one of life's gentlemen and get his thoughts on that. Alex?
Absolutely. John's called it right. But as I say, it never changes up there. But I've covered this before about going to Pittodrie. We know exactly what's in front of us. And we knew they were going to try and come out and stop the game as best they could. It was frantic. Let's be quite truthful. We really need that guy in there. I know the physicality and that, but see a Stevie Davis in there to calm the game down. That's exactly what we missed as well in the middle of the park. Joe Rebo, we know how good he is. I'm not too sure that Joe Rebo out there last night, I know, because to me he'd have get kicked up and down the park. That's just how it was. It was one of the games, and I thought when we scored the goal,